nerderotic.com.
Welcome to the Super Chat Square Up, everyone. It has been a while, I know, and we're going to get to everyone, not this episode, but we're going to get to a lot over the next few days. So sit back, get some coffee or some an alcoholic beverage, if you like, and enjoy some very good questions. And I'm not going to promise good answers. Can't do that. I'll do the best I can. But thank you all, everyone who supports this channel. We don't take any sponsors yet. We don't have any merchandise yet for the show for Friday Night Tights, but that's going to change pretty soon. So we are supported fully by you, and we appreciate you. So let's get to it. JW Tube for $5. Will the fandom be able to resist going back? How bad is this really going to hurt Disney? I'll answer the second question first. Not bad. Like I said in my videos, it showed Disney can bleed, but it's going to take a lot more. And what will hurt them is some massive failures with Star Wars and the MCU. And we're talking about the Gina Carano firing, but it has hurt them. It has hurt their image. And you know, Disney is prickly about that, as any company should be, but Disney is particularly prickly about that. And their videos are still being downvoted into oblivion to this very day, and we are months in. Will the fandom be able to resist going back? I think more are going to be able to resist now. A lot of them went back for The Mandalorian, obviously, because it did look like things were turning around. Now, are people going to go back with Boba Fett? Of course they are. Of course they are. Some people went back with The Bad Batch. I won't. I can tell you I won't. Now, I wasn't in love with Disney before they fired Gina Carano, and that hasn't changed. I just think Star Wars is a dead brand. It's not anything that interests me anymore, and what Disney has done to this brand is despicable. Despicable. Thank you for the super chat. Egg Shen's 6 Demon Bag. All right, Big Trouble in Little China for $5. That intro, though, looking luscious as. Keep killing it, guys. Thank you. We appreciate that. Compliments will always be accepted. Eric Hewitt for $5. Hail Friday Night Tights crew. Love all the team's unique work. Gave up cable and using the money saved to put into your channels and my other favorite YouTube creators. We are grateful for that. And, you know, I'm doing the same. The money that I have saved from cable, I support other YouTubers as well. I also support by watching a lot of your videos, a lot of your live streams. I just spent a lot of time watching one tonight. Gina Carano's Broken Plaything for 99 cents. Thank you for the 99 cents. I appreciate it. EM for $4.99. Kara equals side character, not a lead character. Same with Gina. Good side actor, not a lead. Will be on the no hire list. Career outlook is not good. I completely disagree. While I thank you for the super chat, her career outlook is better than ever because you are partially right. With all due respect to Gina Carano, she's not going to be a leading lady in an Oscar-winning picture. But let me ask you a question. What prospect is looking better right now? A very competent actress leading a fun action movie that she makes on her own that can be extremely popular, or being part of the Hollywood, or more more succinct. The Disney system. What is better for the actor or the actress? How much do you think the actors get paid for being in a Disney production? How much money do you think they actually make? Because it's not as much as you think. Now, Gina being her own brand, being able to do her own things, produce her own work, she's going to make a lot more money. So if we're talking about just money and not clout within Hollywood, she has just blown up into the stratosphere. You know, if Gina came to YouTube today and her channel eventually got monetized, which would be pretty quick, she would make more money on YouTube than she would have made in the entirety of her career on The Mandalorian within months. Months. She would immediately get 1 million subs. Immediately. And all she would have to do is cooking videos or interview some people, and she would be very happy with what she made. So, yeah, and Hollywood is a different place now. So that Hollywood's losing its own clout. Darkstar 76 for $5. Hail all, welcome to the show, Lauren. Gina is better off for sure. No matter what the movie is, I believe it will do well because enough people will support her. Absolutely. Like what I just said. I think she has made a very wise career decision as far as finances are concerned, not general fame. There is going to be half of the audience that hates her just for her politics. That kind of bigotry has been allowed for too long. Hollywood has allowed that bigotry to fester. And that is what happens when you use hate to fight what you perceive, or what they perceive, not you, the viewer, as hate. Velox Aquatus for $4.99. The transition has already begun in gaming. The indie titles are leagues better than the AAA titles. Movies are next. Best of luck, Gina. Absolutely, and I could not agree more. And if you want to know what will force Hollywood to change, it will be the loss of money to their direct competition now, which is all of us. They cannot compete against us, and that's why they are scared to death. Scared to death. Now, I've said many times, and I will continue to say it, there is still some good coming out of Hollywood. Not enough, not nearly enough. There are good people there, and now is the time to start speaking up, good people. And yeah, you might risk your job, but your job's in danger anyway. If you're afraid to speak your mind at work for simple things like how to vote in a proposition in the state because you're afraid that people will think you are a conservative or a Republican or just somebody who practices common sense or a centrist or a classic liberal. Are you happy? Is that where you want to be? Sino for 2 Canadian pesos. I'd like to see Gina as Golden Age Wonder Woman. Hell yeah, that would be great. Michael Deich for $5. KK, Kathleen Kennedy, failed to mention the true female film pioneer, Haiti McDaniel. First black woman to get an Oscar. Oscars made her sit segregated alone in the back. Disgusting, but that's the way it was back then. Tad P for $5. Daily Wire needs to hire the drinker to write for them. I think Hollywood needs to hire the drinker. And that would make Hollywood a much better place. But I think the drinker is way better off on his own. He's a very talented lad, that one. Alistair Crowley for £5 just to see Kirk smirk. That's right. A little gif of Kirk smirking pops up when you donate. And I appreciate that, Alistair Crowley. WG. You can choose from phantom fears and kindness that can kill. I will choose a path that's clear. I will choose free will. Rush, Permanent Waves, Free Will. Great song. Great song, WG. Thank you for the $10. Yes, Yeah, she praised Carl Weathers to no end when he directed an episode. Not even he stood by her. If a number of them stood up, Disney can't fire them all. I completely agree, Darkstar76 for $5. Now, I know Gina's come out and tried to protect Carl and Jon Favreau, and they're her friends, and I understand that, but I have no problem calling all of them out. Now, Carl Weathers, in a way, did kind of back her up on Twitter, but I think he could have done more, especially with a guy who's a legend who Disney isn't going to do anything to. They ain't going to touch Carl Weathers. Scottish Orcadian for £5. Hail Friday Night Tights. You guys getting me through a hard year. Keep it up. I canceled D+. Lifelong Star Wars fan. Sad state now. From Orkney, Scotland. Welcome, sir, and thank you for watching, and thank you for watching us, and thank you for canceling your Disney Plus. I did as well. I got to admit, I haven't missed it at all. And I never thought I would. Tracy Bullet for $5. The intention of canceling someone is to, 1, punish the wrong thinker, 2, intimidate those who might defend them or have the same wrong opinion. Yes, it's like 1980s East Germany, Russia, at the height of the communist regime. Antifa. Sporking News Podcast. Thank you for the $1.49 donation. That is a good channel. Go check out Scott. He's a good guy. There are heavy penalties if you disparage or harm the Disney brand in their contracts, says Josh Krushek for $4.99. Yes, there is. They do have a I think it's a morality clause, but it's also, don't shit on the company. I had to sign something like that for Tesla as well. Gary Jensen for $20. I forgot what I was going to say. Here's 20 spot. Man, I feel ya. I've done that on live streams before. Lauren Marina Sirtis complains that Texas hasn't voted for any Dems since 1994. Can someone remind her that she hasn't worked since 1994 as well? Oh, 200-watt studio for $5. Marksman of 117B for $10. Have you guys forgotten the fan movie section on YouTube? It can be done. Look what was done with a $20,000 Kickstarter that made SCP Overlord. The SCP-096 film looks amazing and had a smaller budget. Yeah, I wasn't aware. Part of that budget needs to be getting the word out about your films, which is tough. I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. It would probably help that you have a platform and you're able to make a smaller film, or you connect to somebody with a platform. You go around, kind of like what independent comic creators used to have to do. Before YouTube, they used to have to call comic shops and get our attention, which was tough. But we were the only people selling comics, and they had to get to us. Now, I had a lot of phone calls, and I helped a lot of independent comic book creators, and I said no to some too. It was tough, but you got to go, you know what? Come back when you're ready, kid. That kind of thing. You don't want to discourage people, but I've got to be able to sell it too. And I want to be honest, honesty with kindness, with a lot of kindness and empathy mixed in on that front. You don't want to, hurt people's feelings or anything, but sometimes it's impossible not to. Sporking News Podcast for $5. Support Enter the Unfamiliar. Final Death Star, less of a boomer than Gary. Well, everybody is. Come on. Right after I plug your channel, too. Steve Carruthers for 2 Canadian pesos. Gary's theme song, Boom by Pod Boomer. Actually, my theme song's called Beam Me Up, and it was available on the free music library. I'll tell you what made me pick that song. Well, it was the title, and I was looking for something like Tyler had on Secure Team. I loved his theme song. Marksman of 117B for $10. Passion and skill is what make a great movie. You're not wrong. Look at the 80s and the 90s and the shoestring budgets our iconic movies had. I have faith in The Wire. If people can make solo films on YouTube, so can anyone else. And you're right. But, a film is not, it takes, it's a collaborative effort, and it takes a lot of people. And I've worked on a lot of projects where I wasn't paid anything. It was just for fun. And I had a blast, not, staying up all night and shooting guerrilla style. It was fun. Fubar for £5. It's not Friday Night Tights without a boomer moment. It kind of isn't. I'm not going to argue with you at all. Jane Theory. The great Jane Theory. She's got a channel. Check it out. Great voice too. For $5, Boyega is actually thriving outside of Disney, and so is Oscar Isaac. Great projects. Yeah. They don't need Disney. And it obviously wasn't their best work, but it wasn't their fault. I think they're both talented actors for sure. Naeem LH for £1. Thank you for the donation. I do appreciate it. Soul Fiend for £5. Those people are so dumb. They are probably presenting the analytics upside down. The analytics? Well, yeah. And through the back door, maybe. Midnight's Edge After Dark for $5. That was before the dark times, though. Before the Fempire. It's all about the agenda and the platform now and what's good for us. And yes, Tom, absolutely. And what makes us look good. Lord of the Rings Junkie. Oh, a man or a woman after my own heart right there. For $5, hate cannot create. I love that. It can only tear down or mimic. People create from a love and passion for things they love only themselves. Oh. Okay. Kit Kat for £1.49. Thank you for the donation, Kit Kat. You're wonderful. Captain Palsy for $5. Didn't know Disney is working with Scientology. Well, their standards and practices are very similar. Brian H for $5. Hey, Jane Theory. See, people love Jane Theory, even though he said Jane Theory, but I know he meant Jane Theory, and I am not going to judge anyone for typos. Just, ask anybody who's read my DMs. Base 10. Monastery for $5. I finally took your advice and created a YouTube channel. It's for education, not nerd culture, but we are fighting the same woke battle. Wish us luck. We wish you all the luck in the world. Base 10 Monastora and Montessori. Base 10 Montessori. And I wish you all the luck in the world. If anything, it's a fun hobby. Mr. Rich Lowpitch for $5. Apparently, Gina Carano is going to be on Ben Shapiro's Sunday Special. I'm really looking forward to that. Wow, this is an old one. We've got them kind of mixed up this time, and that's good. We've got them kind of in a bag, and we shook them up a little bit. And again, I want to thank X-Ray Girl for doing a splendid job on getting these together. We've got a lot to go here, but that's okay. I got time. I'm my own boss. What is it? It's 11:24 at night. Neil Horn for $5. How much money is Disney, Warner Brothers, etc. getting from we taxpayers? Oh, more than you want to know. And why in the hell do they get one damn dime of our taxes? Well, they get subsidies. They get tax breaks, which isn't, and over the last year, they got a lot of PPP money. They got a lot of that fake money that was printed, and the inflation that we are going to experience in this country is going to be a nightmare. It will be a revisit of a time I didn't think we'd revisit. We may be in gas lines, maybe the Carter years all over again. Plague Doctor for $5. As next Friday Night Tights, you should come in as Terrence Von Higginbottom. When he is ready. Rave Forever for $5. Just call this people alt-left bullies. Anyone that is left from MLK to the alt-left. They don't have a comeback from that. They'd probably like it. Zach Richmond for $2. Bring back gatekeeping. A lot of people have said that. Monotonous Pleb for $4.99. I'd pay good money to see a crossover with the new Equalizer, Batwoman, and whatever characters Gina plays and have them fight in a scene without cuts. It would be a short fight. A short fight for $9.99 from Elroy. Hail the panel and Lauren Shin. Here is some money to pay for more female guests. Yeah, I'm working on that. Sean Pugh for $5. Didn't Lucasfilm sideline their woke characters in the High Republic for a Chinese protagonist in the Chinese High Republic? They made a Chinese High Republic completely for China. Thought I read something about that too. You did, Sean Pugh. Thank you for the $5. Wake and Bacon for 5 Canadian pesos. All hail Lauren, Queen of the North. Hail Lauren. Lightning Lord, Beric Dondarrion for $5. Great role for Gina. Hyperion, Dan Simmons character. Braun LeMay. Sci-fi, high-gravity, badass private detective. All right. I have heard of Hyperion, but I don't know a damn thing about it, but I agree with you. Michael Strelitz for £2. Disney, the new Reich, Sie Heil. Not going to argue with you there. Nerdy Girl Creates for $4.99. I wonder when they're going to finally invite Chun-Li to Star Wars. Well, the story group probably thinks she's a Star Wars character. Master Clockwork for $2. China just has a different culture. Come on, man. Your name's not Barack Obama. It's Barack Ajama. Sorry. Oh, my God. Christian Jones for $10. Appeasement never worked for the evil mustachioed man back in the 30s. Why do people think appeasing blue-haired crazies will work? Because people, well, they just do not learn from history, Christian Jones. And we are at the bottom of the slippery slope. But thankfully, we have people like you and others in the chats joining us on these live streams who give me hope for humanity. Nick Nero for $4.99. One question, who are the cucks hitting the dislike button? Oh, wait, those might be other YouTubers angry that they can't get any people on a live stream. Oh, Nick, the best way to get people on your live stream is to, I guess, be entertaining. I don't think it's other YouTubers. I think it's probably people who don't like yours truly. I know it's unimaginable. Or it's probably people who don't like Jeremy. Let's be real. I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm kidding. Amparo for $5. I'm female. Not into JDAH. What is that? Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Happy for getting the Snyder Cut. Not into JDAH. I don't know what that is, but I am happy you got your Snyder Cut, and the Snyder Cut was cool. I liked it. And thank you for the $5. Hail Gary and Friday Night Tights. I'm here bumping up the lady quotient. Another fraction of a percent. Girl Nerds Unite. Yes, Catzilla for $4.99. Right on. Maybe we hit 4%. Maybe. Oh. Ibram Gaunt 8863. Ibram Gaunt for $5. New challenge for Gorilla Glue Girl and copycats. I call it the Kurt Cobain challenge. A loaded shotgun in your mouth. You survive, you win. You don't, the world wins. Ooh. Yikes. Brutal. I have to read all super chats, Mama Susan. I have to read all super chats. By all means, if you were thinking about self-deletion, please get some help. And Ibram Gaunt 8863 was only joking. He was only joking, Mama Susan. But hey, these are the rules. Rome is falling for $2. Lauren is Snow White and the guys are the dwarfs. Yeah. Peter Noble for £5. Thank you for the donation, sir. I appreciate it. Grega for $10. Daily Wire probably won't make Pure Flix trash. The guys there have said they don't like that stuff, and Andrew Clavin is a novelist and screenwriter whose stories are filled with sex and violence. Yeah, if we get just boobs back, I'm good. I don't think they were going to make like conservative films, right? I think they were just going to make films that Hollywood won't make anymore, just traditional stuff. Hashtag fade in for a £1.99 from Shola Onified. Thank you. Piss and Bullets for $15. WGTC is reporting Disney now has a zero tolerance policy because of Gina Carano. Disney, we got called out for our hypocrisy. Let's make a rule. Well, Disney fucked themselves by doing this. And will the truth come out? I have no idea. Will Gina Carano ever be asked back? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And I don't think she'd go back if she was. Why would she? Like I said earlier, she's going to make more money now than she ever would have anywhere else. She's a bigger star now on her own. She's her own brand. She doesn't need to latch on to a larger corporate brand. I'm sure there's a lot of jealousy and envy because of that. I'm sure there's a lot of actors and actresses thinking, damn, well, I guess there's a possibility I might land a starring role and make a few bucks, but I have to compromise all of my values and my beliefs for this town. And there's Gina, who's free to do whatever the fuck she wants now. And she gets all the freaking fame and clout along with it. And cheddar. Cody Duffin for $2. At least you cast Chung Lee. At least. Wesley Snipes, for 5 Canadian pesos. What's your favorite cheese? What's my favorite cheese? Pepper Jack. Johnny David for $2 Australian. Disney holds parents hostage through our kids. Yes, but there's an easy way to let yourself out of that is cancel Disney Plus. Zach Richmond for $5. Do y'all think Kevin Feige is mad that what Kathleen Kennedy did is taking the spotlight off WandaVision and the MCU? Yes. Oh, yes. Again, this is just my opinion and speculation, but I think there were probably a lot of people mad at Disney that the firing of Gina Carano overshadowed WandaVision. And then WandaVision sucked. That didn't help either. Nicholas Miller for $5. I can absolutely see Gina doing a movie akin to John Wick, the first of which was done on a budget of only $20 million. Yeah, that's why I'm just utterly shocked that more people didn't. Zarius for $10. Have you all heard the horrid anti-white hate speech Coca-Cola is promoting? Yes, be less white. Well, just drink less Coke or don't drink any at all. Soda's horrible for you. Yes, I partake once in a while, but I drink Pepsi, and when I do. Byron Luke for $10. Names, what the heck is this? Names, Cy Cooper 11750 wanted to say hi and also wanted to say that we should at this point give up on all these Hollywood properties and focus solely on independent properties. Well, I'm not going to give up on Hollywood completely yet. I'm going to continue giving them shit. And, when we get something like Primal, I'm going to praise it. When something good comes out, I will praise it. It's been too big a part of my life. Now, we can focus more on independent properties, and that's going to be a tough thing to do for the independent properties. Again, they're going to have some sort of place to go. I don't have an answer for that, but if somebody does, I will certainly support it, where we can go to 1 or 2 or even 3 places to go find good independent properties. Now, there's independent films on Amazon. There's independent films here on YouTube that was just mentioned earlier. And what the independent filmmakers need to do is find very clever and innovative ways to get the word out. And most importantly, it has to be good. It has to be good. We can't just support independent properties because they're independent. We want as many people out there doing their own stuff as possible, but it has to be good for it to compete with Hollywood. And where it can be good right now, right this second, and compete with Hollywood is in storytelling. You don't need the budget. That's not something you need. If you're, again, innovative, clever, smart, you can use your creativity within the framework of what your budget gives you. Look at Doctor Who. So I will certainly support independent properties. I've always supported independent bands, independent comics. I was a total music snob. If you got a record contract, I didn't want anything to do with you when I was a kid. Master Clockwork for $2. $5 billion. Oh no, Disney is well over $10 billion in debt. Oh wow, really? A lot of companies are working in debt. Look at AT&T. They're swimming in it right now. Wake and Bacon for 5 Canadian peso. Of flawed characters, Wolverine is king. Yes, the Wolverine before Disney took over Marvel. Absolutely. Neighbor 605 for $5. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fortunately had competent yet flawed characters, both male and female. They were believable and relatable. I'm disappointed in Sword. Yeah, Sword. Well, Sword is a Joss Whedon creation, and I didn't like it that much in the comics, and it's much worse in the MCU. 200-watt studio for $2. The astrophysicist in Witness Protection is Riri Williams. Muffet 1 for $5. For a good fight scene for female, see the movie Atomic Blonde 2017. I thought it was okay. I thought Atomic Blonde was okay. I did. I think I did review it on this channel on a live stream many moons ago. Deneuralma for $5. Have you discussed the movie Run, Hide, Fight? Sorry, I haven't been keeping up. I haven't seen it. The people who have had good things to say about it. I probably should make time because I need to see good things. I've been way too busy reviewing television, which is very time consuming. But I do like what I'm doing. I do. Neighbor 605 for $5. If you want to see a competent team of a director, science team, and field agents, watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead. Fleshes out its characters well. I've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought it was okay for the first 2 seasons, and then it split away from the MCU. I did like how season 2 kind of connected in with Winter Soldier. But yeah, it got very SJW at the end. It got very woke at the end. Null Void for $4.99. I love every one of you MFers. We love you too. And thank you for the $4.99 and thank you for the $5. Neighbor 605. Pine Barrens Legend for $4.99. I know intelligent, strong women. I married one. They don't act like 14-year-old brats. The way Hollywood portrays smart women is embarrassing. And you know who says that? Your wife, my wife, people like Lauren. Lauren, are you eating pie? Did you bring pie for everyone? Says Neil Horn for $5. She didn't. Marine Airwing for $5. After Game of Thrones, this is why I don't get caught up with The Mandalorian. I knew Disney would ruin it towards the end. Yeah, and they're taking this huge break now, and who knows if it's coming back. Who knows? Ed S. for $5. I saw the funniest headline. Officials fear national cheerleading champion. Officials fear national cheerleading championship could turn into super spreader event. Because of the splits? Maybe. Because of the splits. Oh. Andy Lee for $25. After watching the memes and the video for Kathleen Kennedy Oscars, I think the fade in was intentional. They used several terms intentionally. Still cringy though. You think the fade in was intentional? I don't think so, Andy. I don't think so. I didn't hear any intentional terms after that. Nimble Navigator for 5 Australian pesos. Star Trek cast, bar Shatner, all did a mass Star Trek themed fundraiser for Uncle Touchy Biden. Hollywood pedos protect their own. These people are sick. Oh, well, they've been much worse since then. Star Trek has been much worse. Chef MCD for $5. Give Gary Sinise some love. He's been using his fame to do the right thing. Yes, he has. Gary Sinise is awesome. Ederific USN Vet for $10. The troglodytes on Instagram are posting memes celebrating Miss Gina Carano's dismissal from Star Wars. What is fun is pissing them off by showing how Borg-like they are. Just putting a mirror up. Just putting a mirror up, sir. Thank you for the $10. Joe Nerf Herder for $5. Fade in. Rey will appear and say, I am Cara Dune. Captain Marvel fades in and argues, no, I am Cara Dune. Bow, chicka, wow, wow, and we have a sexy fight. Oh, well. With, I don't know. Two very, I mean, they're not, Daisy Ridley isn't ugly. Brie Larson isn't ugly. They're very average looking. They're not extraordinary at all, to me.
Know you wanna party with a fat bitch. Buy me diamond thing name brand chips. Time you spend with me will be time well spent. And if I get unlucky, know I'm leaving a den. I'm a big bad big butt, big dreams baddie. 2 minutes with me and you'll be calling me daddy. Might not pass the presidential fitness test, but notify your next of kin, I'll put you to rest. Whiny little dude say,
I'm concerned for your health.
And think about my backles while they're touching themselves. They comment, I legitimately thought this was John Candy. Then whisper my name as they start to get randy.
Like to see my apartment?
No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
You want to come to my apartment or not?
For a fucking $1,000, I'll fucking bend over, get on my knees, and close my eyes and wait till it's over.
Here! I spotted a queer! Let me go stay them!
Oh, what the
Goodness me, this is amazing stuff! I'm learning everything new!
Ah! Oh my god.
Ah!
Long Ripper 69.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Toxic Dust 13 for $5. I listened to Rush Limbaugh for 30 years, not the band, and he would have fit right in with you guys, and I will take that as a compliment. Thank you. Report Red for 50 Canadian pesos. Hey, Gary, fading Kathleen Kennedy is the most vile creature in the entertainment industry. Fade out. Not going to argue with you. Thunderstorm for $4.99. They don't care about the slaves making products or the homeless. They care about people being labeled property. Like a product. That's what they want. Disney Plus would like nothing better than a population who made just enough money to sit at home and watch Disney Plus. They are absolutely for a system like that. Not unlike what is portrayed, well, what is talked about in The Expanse. You don't really see the general public in The Expanse on Earth, but most of them live on a thing called basic income and they just sit around watching the telly all day. Sith Cake for $20. Hail Friday Night Tights. Hi, hail Lauren. Love your channel. F Disney Star Wars. Hail Gina. Hashtag we love Gina Carano. Hashtag we love Gina Carano. Brightest Day for $2. You know Gina is watching right now. Hi, Gina. She's probably not watching this. Well, she might be watching this. I don't know. But she does occasionally watch the live streams. And so do people from Star Wars. And so do people from, Lucasfilm and CBS and other places. That has been confirmed. Gojira Star 5477 for $5. Favreau brought in the female directors and Kathleen Kennedy didn't do it with 5 movies. Good point, Gojira Star. Good point. Zach Richmond for $5. All of this comes from Kathleen Kennedy's jealousy of Filoni Favreau's success. They understand what makes Star Wars work better than she ever will. I think she has a massive chip on her shoulder for anybody creative. I do. Bobby Sharps for $4.99. TGIFNT. Thank goodness it's Friday Night Tights. Cara Dune figures are hotter than Bitcoin. Elon Musk is buying them all up. Unconfirmed. But confirmed. Nunya Art for $5. Gina's symbol that we don't have to be afraid of. Suck like you, the Dark Knight. Shit like you? Maybe shit like you that you were saying, Nunya? But yes, I know what you're saying, and thank you for the $5. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow for $5. You guys have to check out YouTube video. Disney reacts to the Gina Carano backlash by Act 17 Apologetics. It's a scream. The subtitles are redone. Oh, I will check that out. Thank you, Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. For 10 Canadian pesos, I'm going to butcher this name, Securinus Deferin for 10 Canadian pesos. A little bit behind, but I would recommend the Dragon Demands video on the actor for the new Game of Thrones, as the minor houses would be different than those in power. Not all can ride dragons either. And I think we might have been talking about Corlys Valerian, who was cast for House of the Dragon. He is a Valerian, which means he is light of skin with blonde hair or silver hair with purple eyes, because the Valerians are supposed to be the elves, like the Tolkien elves of, sort of, in A Song of Ice and Fire, except they were horrible. They enslaved people. And that's why Valeria was doomed. A lot of people thought it was because of magic. The 14 flames, the 14 volcanoes in Valeria all went up at once and destroyed the island. But, of course, there was Dragonstone and the Targaryens, which was, they were left. They were not even a major house in Valeria. But Daenerys the Dreamer was able to see the doom of Valeria, and they fled to Dragonstone. Then they waited a long time before they took over Westeros. Why did the Valerians never touch Westeros? That is a mystery. I think it was because there were wargs, but I digress. They cast Corlys Valerian with a black actor, and that was approved by George R. R. Martin. And they basically race swapped the character, which creates problems unless you just say this character had a mom from the Summer Islands, which is fine, because there are diverse characters in A Song of Ice and Fire, tons of them. There's all races, the same races we have here, they have on Westeros. Plus, they have like Hobbit short like people, and they have giants, and they have hairy men, and all kinds of stuff, and mammoths. Westeros it's fantasy based. So it's kind of like a prehistory for our world. Now, I don't think that, Lord of the Rings took place on Earth, thousands of years ago. I think that Planetos, which it's not its official name, is a different planet. Now, the actor probably will do fine. I'm having a hard time giving a shit about House of the Dragon because Game of Thrones ended in disaster and George didn't finish the book. Now, if George had finished the books, I would care about the show. I would, because I could, in my head canon, say, well, this show is connected with the books more than it is with the HBO show. I think it's a huge risk. I think it's going to be a failure. It's got a great cast. Matt Smith, Daemon Targaryen. I mean, that's pretty cool. But and it's got better showrunners. So it's got a chance. I'm not going to say it's going to. I just don't think it's going to be what HBO wants it to be. HBO wants Game of Thrones type of ratings, which was 10 million, 12 million in the last season. The final shitty episode had 18 million overnight viewers in the era of streaming. We'll see. I could be wrong. But the Dragon Demands, good channel. Paul J. Lewis for £5. With so much baldness on the show, Ryan's toupee hiding in plain sight isn't fooling anyone. Love Friday Night Tights. My TV has never been so underused. Yeah, mine too. You know how much I watch TV? I left my television in San Francisco. I did not bring it with me. My giant 60-inch 4K TV is hanging on my wall in San Francisco. I have a projector here that I use once in a great while that I completely forgot I had. from the comic shop days, and it's an early one. I paid a fortune for it, and now you can buy them for like $1,000. But yeah, that's what I use once in a while. But mostly I'm here in front of my rig doing my stuff. Where was I? Baldness. That's right. The Sheequalizer needs to team up with Batchamima to fight toxic masculinity and diabetes. Says Frank Sarko for $5. Mama Susan, I got to read these. I do. Full Null Void for $4.99. If I was Lucas, you'd be a billionaire. I'd be pissed that Kathleen Kennedy saw her SJW employees have tarnished his name, legacy, and hard work. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. And I think he probably is. But then he counts his money. Scorpion Eagle Lucian for $50. Thank you for the $50. Thank you, sir. Trump Carano 2024. Brian Omar for $3.99. Lucky I found a 3 1/4 Cara Dune and a Funko Pop. Excellent. Yes, out in the wild. That's good. Retro Dude Man X for 500 yen. With what is happening in the divided states of America, I'm glad I left and lived in a true free country, Japan. Stay safe, all of you guys. Oh, we're doing okay. But yeah, Japan is not doing the shit we are, and they're much better off for it. Brother John for $10. Stefan Molyneux said that cancel culture is dress rehearsal for genocide. If society is comfortable with erasing people from social media, then society will allow them to erase them from the world. I would not disagree with that at all. And Stefan would know about that, unfortunately. Poor guy. Completely mislabeled. Called a white supremacist like all the others. Especially the ones who never listen to the guy. Eric D for $10. As Hollywood is suffering because they inject politics and wokeness in their movies, do you see other movie industries rising, like here in the U.S. or in other countries? Or can Hollywood recover? Hollywood will not be able to recover. No, not fully. The Hollywood as we knew it back in 2019 is done. We've lost thousands of movie theaters. We're going to lose thousands more. They're not going to be able to make the money that they made before. Even if they, didn't mean that to rhyme. Even if they raise ticket prices, it won't matter. They're going to have to tighten their belt now. They're going to have to contract. Russian Bot 1918 for $5. ESPN streaming on the TV. They just ran an ad for the Disney bundle. Showed Gina Carano with the heading Unforgettable Characters. You can't make this shit up. You really can't. And they probably scrubbed that ad. Al Alvarez for $10. So who will Disney put on the lead in the Rangers of the New Republic? The 70-year-old overweight Asian X-Wing pilot? No, I don't know if the show will even happen at this point. Lane Bristow for 10 Canadian pesos. I guess Tucker finally got his Tuck-exclusive. Quarter Black will get it. Quarter Black, I'll have to pass that one on to you, brother. Brett Cohen, thank you for the 10 Australian dollar donation. I greatly appreciate it, Brett. Thank you so much. Billy Badass for $5. I wonder how many people know that Disney was founded by a child, bad thing, snuff film producer. Billy Badass, I don't know if, I've never heard that about Disney. I have never heard that about Disney. Adrian Alvarez for $19.99. Hello to you. Hello to you. Have you guys heard that? Don't even put that in the comment section. Yeah, I have never heard that. 009 for $13.99 Canadian. It is not possible the woke agenda is the device used for united compliance, obedience, and domination in the coming New World Order reset. Explain the united front between various corporate mediums. It is not possible the woke agenda is the device used for united compliance, obedience, and dominance in the coming new world reset. Explain to us the front between various and corporate mediums. The front of what? 009? The front of what? The woke agenda is a device that's used for, it's not a united compliance, though. It's a forced compliance. United would suggest that we were all for it. We're not. So it is a forced compliance and obedience. Unfortunately, there's a lot of conformists out there, but not everybody. So it will be very difficult for them to be united on that. Kathleen Kennedy, but thank you though. For Eric Winberg for $2. KK is not in danger of making a good movie. No, she's not. Kathleen Kennedy's 50-year-old fanboy for $5. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Das Pooch for $5. Ryan still can't give up on this is how they bring in my first class theory. I see. Not gonna happen, bro. This is how bring in my first class? Ryan, I'm going to have to ask you about that, buddy. Super Mastermind for $5. Has anyone seen Brotherhood of the Wolf? Just do it. I have not, but I'll put it on my list of suggestions. Thank you, Super Mastermind. Null Void for $9.99. The Void for Mando was built by some of my former coworkers in the LED field where we worked on several films and TV shows, and back when it was first built, it wasn't an LFL production. It wasn't a Lucasfilm production. The Void. Really? Loki's Morning Mischief for $5. Skål. Let the horn of Helm Hammerhand sound in the deep. Duck Fisney, you are absolutely right. They fumbled Star Wars. They fumbled the MCU. Fumbalia. And the MCU is just getting worse, buddy. It's just getting worse. Dodgy Arab for $99.99. New viewer. Welcome. Oh, wow. Double sound effect. Really enjoying the banter. Hate that they fired Gina, but I don't like suddenly bashing every Disney Marvel movie because of it. Was very disappointed with Infinity War and Endgame. Grew up reading X-Men, so looking forward to them being introduced. I am too, Dodgy Arab, but let's be honest. Based on what we have heard, based on what we have seen, do you think we're going to get a comic accurate X-Men, which is already a pretty damn diverse team? Or do you think they're going to amp it up a little bit and amp up the wokeness? I think they will. Recasting Wolverine is going to be tough because you need to recast him with a very masculine man, and Hollywood just ain't down with that right now. Wobblehead for 10 pounds. Fade in. I don't care anymore about Disney Star Wars or Kurtzman Trek, and I have been going back and watching older good stuff like Farscape and Babylon 5, and I'm loving Babylon 5, and I love Farscape. Hell yeah. Cooking with Ruthie for $4.99. What's up, Ruthie? Can you please do a shout out for My Nerdy Home? I want to see her get monetized. We did, Ruthie. Thank you. Frank Sarko for $10. Picard Season 2 finale. Picard and Mephisto exchanging uncomfortable glances, doing bent over rows while quoting the vagina monologues. That would probably be an improvement, to be honest with you. Super Mastermind for $5. What about the Invincible comic cartoon high quality series coming out? Well, Az is really enjoying it, and I've watched a couple episodes and I like it. Although there is a little bit of wokeness in there, but that was in the comics too. Timothy Sullivan for $4.99. Seriously, get Ben Shapiro on Friday Night Tights. I don't think he would come on. I don't. The guy knows comics, pop culture, and Gina. Of course, he'd be a great guest. Yes, he would. I would love to have him on. but I don't know if he does other shows. I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, Timothy. So why the hell not? WandaVision. Marsh is Ultron in disguise. Angry Jedi for $15. Well, that didn't end up. Nothing happened in that show. It was a show in disguise. Julio Scissors for $5. 40 homicides in Houston, Texas this year already, and no one is tweeting about that. No, they're not. Darth Milk for $5. Remember when Trump was blasted for saying that California could have been better prepared for the forest fires that happened every year? Yep, I remember. And then even the LA Times had to agree with him. Gavin's an idiot. Richard Davis for $5. They did not fire Gina Carano to her face because they are physically and mentally afraid of her. Hail Friday Night Tights. Yes, they are. They're weak. Jason Smoot for $100. Amazing stream, guys. Also, Gary, expect to see you on Sunday Mario Kart stream next. Yes, and I did read this one. But it's good to read them again. And I will embarrass myself on that someday. I will. And that with their racist treatment of the Finn character, says Aaron Pipes for $5. Yes, they did shrink Finn on the poster. We won't let him forget that one. Hail all, did you guys hear about the Jezebel temp who thought Chun-Li was in the Mortal Kombat movie? Yes, we did. Happy Captain Jack 73 for $5. Yeah, and I watched the movie and she wasn't in it. Eric Winberg for $2. Hail, Boomer. Hail to you. Ian Slater for $5. Switching my membership from this channel to my other channel. You'll see it. Still a supporter. Have to concentrate on the other channel. Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine, Ian. You can do what you need to do, buddy. You've always been a great supporter. Ian's a truck driver. Hail, Ian. Billy Mack, thank you for the $5. And hail. Carl Holdridge for $10. So one of the Bobs cannot fire KK because the optics of firing a woman are bad, but KK can fire Gina and those optics are okay. Yeah, right. Well, they're fucking hypocrites. I'll take Let It Snow for $400, Alex. Says Sith Cake for $5. Thanks for a great Friday Night Tights. Keep doing what you're doing, says M Tax Shark for $5. You are welcome, and we will do our very best. LT for $10. Help coworker was fired for posting on personal page saying pastors can't support LGBTQ. They called it hate speech. Should I leave? Means losing $16,000 a year, but could save me from the witch hunt. Well, I have a lot of questions with this. What was the context of what your coworker said? Are you going to say stuff like that? Is that what you're worried about? And most importantly, was there an agreement between your coworker and you and your employee on what you guys can say on social media for you to be able to work at your establishment, wherever you work? Now, I'm not sure if I'm the right person to ask because when I owned my comic shop, there was an agreement I had with all my employees that they would not be political in any way, shape, or form if they wanted to work for me. Because I didn't want to be seen as someone who was choosing sides. I was in the business of selling comic books. It wasn't really appropriate. We didn't talk about politics in the shop. My employees knew how I felt about that. This was a place for escapism, to be free of that. And they all agreed to it. And I was thankful for that. Now, if your employer does not have that type of agreement, then no, I don't think you should be fired, whether I agree with the statement or not. And again, I don't know the context. I know there are pastors out there who do not support the LGBTQ community, and they're free to do that. I don't agree with it, but they're free to do that. So yeah, that's what I would need the answer on. I would ask a friend, and I would look over whatever contracts you signed with your employee, if you signed any paperwork, and see if there was anything in there that said you have to keep your act pretty clean on social media. Don't talk about any social issues. Probably not. I'm guessing they didn't have something like that. Now, I did sign something like that for Tesla. I couldn't be too spicy on social media. or they could fire me. Now, it's different here at Nerdrotic. The two employees that I have are free to say whatever the hell they want. And sure, there's things out there that if X-Ray Girl and Perry said them, I'd be pissed. Is there a couple things they could say that would get them fired? Probably, but I know that X-Ray Girl and Perry wouldn't say those things. I trust them. They're good people. Ultimus Magus for $2. If I write a sci-fi fantasy book, will you buy it? Is it going to be good? If it's a good sci-fi book, I would buy it. Jason Smoot for $60. How bad is the Aquaman Cal Arts bullshit? Freaking awful. Yeah, that was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Cecil says, is adults only content for $5. Hello, gents. And hail to the chat. Doing some of my crap drawings and listening to the worst people in the world, the collectors of figurines and DVDs. We are horrible, Cecil. Horrible. And you know what? I've gotten a couple of extra action figures and DVDs since this show. The Italian Stallion for $4.99. The recent actions and apparent direction of Lucasfilm makes me dread the Kenobi show. I'm starting to think he'll be neutered worse than Jon Snow. I can almost promise you that. And that's why I'll miss it. Big Z for, I might review it, but yeah, it depends. It depends if I have time. Big Z for $10. Looking at how Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, and DC have gone down the drain over the last decade because of identity politics, I can't help but think that gatekeeping is a good thing we should have done. The political activists are concerned? Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, they snuck in through the back door. Now they've taken over. Patrick Ells for $20. Holy crap, I think you guys discovered Ben Shapiro's plan in hiring Gina. Create a movement so we don't need to fear cancel culture. Yeah, and if you create another industry that competes with Hollywood, that can legitimately compete with them, then it would force them to give up cancel culture. But they're all for it right now. Disney-sponsored cancel culture. Mags for $5. Happy Fade In Friday, everyone. Happy Fade In Friday to you. WG for $50. Speaking of origins of wokeness, Deutschland Earwalk, Germany's Awaken was one of the bad man with the mustache favorite sayings, especially in the lead up to January 1933 when he was appointed chancellor. Woke is Yahtzee. Absolutely. Absolutely. JJ for $10. I was on with Disney Plus today for a half an hour through chat. Rep was very sympathetic to my frustration over Gina. She agreed with what I said. No unity in the Mouse House. I don't think there is. Is there a civil war? No. I think there's a lot of people who are afraid to speak up. Davy Jones, consulting theologian for $20. Ladies and gentlemen, and Jeremy, allow me to tell you largely of the great Phil Lashbrook, a good man and my best friend of 27 years. He passed away. Oh no, suddenly last week. Rest easy, Phil. The world is lesser for your passing. Rest in peace, Phil Lashbrook, Davy Jones, consulting theologian. I am so sorry. Thank you for the $20. Mike L for $9.99. Hail panel and chat. It's my birthday and I'm so happy it falls on the same day as my favorite weekly show. Buy yourself a soda or coffee on me. Thank you, Mike L, and happy late birthday. High Q for £5. Maria doesn't understand the only reason Counselor Troy was a successful character was because of her boobs. No, she knows that and she's bitter over it. She is bitter. Boomered again. Time to put Az in charge. Says Xenoworks for 10 Canadian pesos. Sure. Why not? 369. I'd love to take a night off and let the other guys handle the articles and stuff. That's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. Xenoworks. I think we should rotate who's in charge. 369 Garion for $5. I watch the show every week, and I was born in 1960, and I will be 61 in 2 weeks. Oh, you're 10 years older than me. Well, thank you. Happy birthday. It's happy late birthday because it's been 2 weeks since then. Black Tiger 001 for 2 Canadian pesos. Wait, didn't many people from California move to Texas? They are. Matthew Tolley for 10 pounds. Check out the channel of Atlas Survival Shelters. It's amazing. See preppers buying 40-foot containers in their backyards, Texas-based. I bet they are okay for power and water. I bet you they are. I just lost it there. Fabio Carrera. There it is. Clownfish TV reports that Disney has no more money for good lawyers. They might explain why a whistleblower sued Disney this week. Maybe Gina could sue too. I don't know if she could sue. I don't know if she wants to. Mark the Cyborg, thank you for the 5 Canadian pesos, and thank you for loaning me X-Ray Girl for a little bit of time. And good man. G-Man for $5. I'll take the Texas government over the California government any day, so I would too. A weekend of discomfort versus a lifetime of hell sounds good to me. Yep. Commodore Stargazer for $5. Worst thing I ever did was look up Ron Perlman on Twitter. Destroyed my soul. Yeah, he's a prick. Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies for $2. Sirtis is trying to keep relevant for acting jobs. She is, and it's not going to work. The Opposition HQ for £2. Jeremy and consistency with Amazing Lucas. Amazing. All right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, they had an argument. Hans Neiman, thank you for the $6.50. I appreciate it. As a Canadian, I'd trade Justin Trudeau for Tulsi Gabbard anytime you want, America. Nope, you can't have her. You can't have her. Wake bacon for 5 Canadian pesos. My Canadian AR-15 was recently made illegal and my handguns are on the chopping block next, sadly, says Mark the Cyborg for 5 Canadian pesos. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, Mark, that you lost all of your firearms in that boating accident and you'll never see them again. I am very sorry. Ask Marina Sirtis what she thinks about the 13,000 plus elderly people in Democrat-run New York that died. Dwayne, I'll finish that sentence for you. Long offer for $14.99. Yeah. She didn't bring that up. Make hashtag not see Hollywood trend with cancel Disney Plus, says North American Hamrammer for $2. Well, cancel Disney Plus trended for a lot longer than it was inorganically taken down. Politicians are like jazz musicians. They watch someone else perform and say, I could have done that better. Douglas Sedvey for $5. Yes, you're not wrong. Hey, Jeremy, how about you try NoFap? Dimension X for $1.99. Jeremy is incapable. I am so happy I came to this channel. You guys rock. You rock, Mr. Congressman, for $5, and that's probably the only time I'll ever say that sentence. Alan Reese for 10 pounds. Politicians waste so much money. They are all crap. Don't be fooled. Like who's on whose side. This keeps the politician losers in power. Could not agree more. We all need common sense. Common sense. Fucking A, buddy.
Oh man. What?
Musical theater!
That's cool.
Fuck off!
Oh my god.
Shit.
Take me now, sub-creature.
Oh, yes.
Hi, I love Nintendo. Nintendo's my favorite game ever. I love Nintendo.
Geeks und Gamer.
Oh, yes.
Distractor. What are you doing?
Fuck you, bitch. One more. Oh my god! Run! Oh
The Microraptor is now the hunted.
my god!
FaZe Ajido for $5. What the frell did I just look at? Was that a person? Or maybe they'll cast Shim as the new Cara Dune. That was probably one of the weekly TikTok monstrosities that we look at on every Friday Night Tights, which is an hourly occurrence here on this clown world that we live on. But it makes for good entertainment. Corporeal Savagery for $20. The first Saw movie was pretty low budget and one of my favorite movies of all time. They did all the filming in 18 days. Another one of my favorites was The Gamer's Darkness Rising. Extremely low budget, funny, very B-movie-esque. Yes, we need to return to that. We need to return to the comedies of the 70s and 80s and the early 2000s. But comedy is illegal now. Sean the Movie Man, 71 for $10. Growing up in the 80s, it was a joke in the black community that when watching a horror film, the black person would die first. Now, if a white man is in a film, he is the villain. Hollywood is racist. Yes, and very one-dimensional and childlike. Alphonse 365 for 20 Mexican dollars. Thank you. This feels like South Park material. Cheers from Mexico. Hey, thank you very much. A derp alert for 10 Australian dollars. That mustache is almost as real as Lauren's. Frank Sicaro for $15. As please show Dr. Juniper your gender here. Synonymous your sex ed examples with action figures on a live stream. Thanks in advance. I don't know what he was trying to say. I think, Frank, you were trying to say that we need to see some more 1/6 scale sex ed. And I think that would be a good idea. We did get one a couple of weeks ago. But those are, they're best impromptu. Zim the Despot for $5. Thoughts on the Fallout New Vegas, the Frontier mod, and the whole debacle that's going on with that? I have zero thoughts on that. Did not know there was a debacle. I will ask the guys about it on the show. Thank you, Zim. Rich Suddy for £5. Thanks for the Juniper video. As I write this, my corneas are fading. Helpo. Yeah, Soulfind for £5. Think how many people could have been fed if they didn't make The Last Jedi. Exactly. As they, The Last Jedi wasn't expensive as The Fall of Skywalker, which was rumored to be well over a $500 million movie. But yes, that could feed a small country. Douglas Allman for $5. As a Cruise supporter, you say he has faults, but taking his family to a warm destination isn't one of them. He's a man taking care of his family. Oh, for him taking off during the big freeze in Texas. Yeah, we were just talking about the optics of it, and I don't personally blame the man for doing, but you gotta be aware that when you do stuff like that, there's people always around waiting to use anything you do against you. So you need to be smart. Every man has his faults. Every politician can be criticized, and none of them are above criticism. And I think it's very important for the people who are in the Republican Party to hold their own Republican politicians to their feet to the fire. It's the most important thing, because that keeps them honest with their base, and that makes them work better. That makes them work better when they're doing their job, which is, quite frankly, not many of them are. Not many of them are on both sides. Not really happy with both sides right now. And I haven't been for quite some time. Primer for $2. That's it. From now on, I'm only drinking Pepsi. That's right, because Coke said, try to be less white. What a stupid fucking thing to say. The Thrashy one for $5. Weirdos. You don't get to decide my identity. Same weirdos. Property purchases by your own achievements in life can't be a part of your identity. Lol. I know. They can't keep track of their own fucking idiocy. Inject some common sense for $5. Gary, we live in the country in Florida. Try looking here for a move. Also, Disney Star Wars isn't all bad. Phineas and Ferb Star Wars is hands down the best. My kid thinks so. He agrees with you. Ryu Kurito for $4.99. Oh, damn. Lauren Chen, how did I get a notification? How did I not get a notification for this? Y'all woke now. You have her on. Y'all woke now that you have her on. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm not woke. No. I'm awake. Is that what you mean? That's what you mean. Thank you, Ryu, though. Sometimes it's hard to interpret if you're not in the moment. It's even harder during the show when you're live and you've got like 9 things going on over here, about 10 things over here, somebody trying to get your attention in the private chat. And then, you're a guy who's done a lot of drugs in the 80s, so you've got Swiss cheese for brains. Glenn Murphy, thank you for the Australian $4.99. And nothing to say, but thank you for the donation. Null Void. Oh, shit. I just lost him. There he is. Damn it. Now I got to stop buying Coke. The drink facepalm. They have to ruin everything. Politics ruins everything. Blue Marble for $5. Race was invented to keep people apart, and it worked. It's a shame that some people keep falling for the okey doke. Oh, Blue Marble, you're so right. My favorite Jack Black was in The Jackal. He got his arm blown off, says Scotty S for $4.99. Yeah, my favorite Jack Black is Tenacious D. The Opposition HQ for £2. Abby is going to peg Pedro, isn't she? You know it. Ryan Wilder is Mikey Spock's ancestor. A Alpha Z Omega. At Horrific USN veteran for $10. I think you're onto something, sir. I think you are onto something, and thank you for your service. Daniel Anderson for $5 Australian. Master Missy stars in a new Sabrina Teen Witch. Show vomits woke like no tomorrow. Couldn't get past the first 2 episodes. Yeah. Yep. I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes. Hammond of Texas, thank you for the $5 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Egg Shin 6 Demon Bag for $100. When the SJWs tweet and the NPC shriek, and all manner of Lucasfilm executives smite both the strong women and the free thinkers alike, just remember, it's all in the reflexes. Love you guys. Hey, I love you too. Egg Shin, love you too. Zach Richmond for $5. If anything, it feels like Ryan's still being too tame compared to the other nights. Ryan, he can't be 1,000% all the time. He's young. Taryn the Black for $4.99. Nettles is the only Black Dragon rider. She was a Targaryen bastard and was heavily hinted that she survived the events of A Dance with Dragons back then. Yes, this is true. Because she flew off and never to be heard from again, right? If I remember correctly. And that's George, the one thing in A Song of Ice and Fire is they like to subvert expectations. There's a lot of messaging, but George is a comic book fan. So it's comic book fan universe rules. Unless you see a body, that person ain't dead. Shadow Persona for $5. With some minor exceptions. Okay. King Balin. No, they did show his body though. Shadow Persona for $5. Fade into my first time super chat. Oh, we'll be gentle. You all help me survive grad school and all the wokeness. Please keep up the good fight. # I just want my Star Trek back. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I want the same thing. Janet Jarrett for $5. Lauren, your Google bio, it states you fancies herself as an Asian Lauren Southern and promotes racist and white rationalist talking points. What a fucking terrible thing to say. That's Google. The good guys. Kinnell guzzles Jeremy's man juice for £2. It's okay, Ryan. I'll abuse your channel next time. He will. A common idiot for $5. Love the stream and all your channels. Do you guys see the Cartoon Network video See Color on YouTube? Brainwashing your kids. No, but I think we did. But I think we should take a look at that again soon. J-Lo Flicks for $5. Great to have Blazer Lauren on Friday Night Tights. Who from the news and why it matters do you think would dare come on Friday Night Tights? Think Sarah Gonzalez would enjoy it? Maybe. We're trying to get Lauren back on. JC Miller for $20. Daily Wire needs to make a movie like Brawl in Cell Block 99. Its message goes against the mainstream narrative, and it's entertaining. Low budget pulp action flick. I can see Gina excelling in a film like that. Yeah, Gina, thank you for the $20, JC Miller. Sky's the limit for Gina. Sky is the limit. Megatron Prime for $5. Did you guys hear about a Batman the Animated Series revival? We did, and it's probably going to be woke garbage. So I'll hope for the best and expect the worst. Neil Oakley for 10 pounds. Great show tonight, guys. Just fucking hilarious. Hail, thank you. If we get you guys laughing, that's the most important part. Breaking Bad has some very good writing in it. Leon K for $4.99. You are not wrong. Meredith Glassberg for $5. While J.K. Rowling never said in the books Hermione's race, she stated in interviews that Hermione was a self-insert along before the fanfic play. Yeah, Hermione's white. They just made her black for the play. Does it matter in the great scheme of things? Not really, honestly. You can't go back and see JK's having a hard time because JK wants the attention again. And JK's becoming based as time goes on. And I've read the Harry Potter books with my kids. I like them. JK knows how to write male characters, which is fucking rare from women. She can go and redo all she wants. The main story is there. And I know the Harry Potter fandom got weird, and that's why I wasn't part of it ever. I just enjoyed the books on my own in solitude. Justin Gould for $10. Everyone at Lucasfilm knows that 99% of the fans hate Kathleen Kennedy. They just don't care. Agenda is more important to them than having actual fans. Stick to the EU, people. Yeah, if you want to still enjoy Star Wars, EU is where it's at, I guess. It's where you're going to get the most stories. Eventually you're going to get through them all, but it would take you probably the rest of your life, and they're going to be better than whatever Disney Star Wars has to offer. That is just a fact. Even the great Jon Favreau is just picking and plucking from the EU, and they're just mucking around in between trilogies. You're not going to get anything new. Arthur Zala for $5. Gary, if you become a fellow Texan, get ready for the weather whiplash. Was out of power for 3 days with record lows at 1 degree. A few days later, 75. Yeah, I'll have to prepare for that. That is not anything I've ever really lived in. I've lived all over California. I've lived in San Diego, Los Angeles, Hollywood, Burbank, involuntarily at Folsom Prison, which is in Represa, California, near Folsom, California. I've lived a little bit in Sac. I've lived a little bit in Marin. I've lived for 18 years in San Francisco, but never anywhere else. And it's up and down the state. The weather varies a little bit by like 5-10 degrees. San Diego, it's pretty nice all the time. As a matter of fact, it's a gorgeous 82 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky. Insanity Prepper for $5. Is anyone going to give a proper public outrage to the fact that Walt Disney Corporation subjects its employees to literal Maoist struggle sessions? Yeah, we did point that out, and that is disgusting. Disgusting. Your Muslim uncle for $1.99. Gina's interview was great. Sweet, tough, caring. Yep. It's my policy on life. Tough but fair. Mark Wilkins for $5. They fired Gina because she made a political post they didn't like. Her politics are none of their effing business. They really aren't when they're being tame. And when they let their other employees do that. I have already made myself clear that when somebody worked for me at the Comic Outpost, they could not make posts like that. No, they couldn't. No, and they had the option to not work for me. And that's because I was in the business of escapism. My image was to be one of enjoyment from the comic shop, and if you were going to be related to it. And you know what? I don't want to sound like a stuck-up dick, but it was an honor to work at my comic store. I had people begging to work for me for free, all the time. I never had a problem finding employees. I had a problem finding like really good ones, and I found some very good ones. Harry Maldonado was a great employee. Tamara was a great employee. Cara Breslin was a great employee. Mike Baker, the bike maker, was a great employee. I had some good people. Sparks1524 for $20. I'm gay. Not all alphabeters are abhorrently narcissistic. Twitter titillated, snot-nosed, 14-year-old power-hungry students of Mao. Freedom is a two-edged sword. You protect it by giving it. Oh, Sparks. That was good. Thank you for the $20. Caffeine-riddled beverage for 10 Canadian pesos. Fact. Lucasfilm defines the Force as literally forcing the audience to watch Disney Star Wars. The Mandalorian is kind of a snooze fest, eh? I agree. Fans don't settle for mediocrity. Kathleen, take a hike, eh? Take a hike, eh? Take off, you hoser. Dixon Cunts for $10. Lucasfilm trying to get 40 people on a Zoom call to exoriate Gina Carano for her political beliefs is called a struggle session. Common tactic used by communists against dissidents, not descendants, but some of their descendants might have been dissidents. Yes, you're absolutely right. I mentioned that in my video, and so did many others. Thank you, Dixon Cunts. Say hi to my cunt for me again. 487 Sean Tower for 10 Canadian pesos. It is the HR department, which is a symptom of the C disease with academia. Intersectional feminism and woke agendas run amok for generations. Agreed. And they, a lot of people, I believe, thought that, well, most of these people in college will grow out of it. No, we got a generation to deal with now of complete cunts. Samurai for $2. They hate her because she's tough, feminine, with a personality. Yep. They hate her because she's everything they said they liked in a woman. And then, well, she broke the narrative. Dixon Cunts for $5. This is a modern day equivalent of witch trials or McCarthyism. Yep. Hail Doomcock and Gary, may your Inquisition be just. Hail Doomcock and Gary, may your Inquisition be just and your beards be long. WandaVision is MCU pretend surprise. Wow, I'm not surprised, says Digi Akuma for $5, and I wasn't either. YouTube has been breaking even for 20 years. Imagine if they made making money the number one task. Hasn't been around for 20 years, but yes. But it's been around for a long time, though. Thank you, Super Mastermind, for $5, and it seems to be fixed for now. Nick Nero for $20. Am I the only person who thinks we are stuck in a Twilight Zone episode that started way back in 2008 and was elevated in 2016? It's one thing after another. At least we have you guys to keep our sanity. Thank you. And thank you, Nick Nero. And we have you to keep our sanity. Thank you for the $20. Scotty S for $9.99. For those who wonder why woke leftists do not create original content, the fundamental basis of wokeism is to tear down, removal, or cancel. These are antithetical of creativity. You're right, Scotty S for $9.99. And they don't care. Digiakuma for $10. Regarding the SJW loonies attacking Russia's death, chills me to the bone that they would likely forget Mel Brooks's Jewish heritage and attack him upon his death for his movies like Blazing Saddles. So look forward to that. I mean, I'm not. I hope the man lives for 1,000 years, but they'll do it. Back when entertainment was gold for $5. Today, I finally got my Disney Plus account canceled, and Gina is lovely. I love you guys so much. Also, I'm going to start writing epic high fantasy soon. Good, because there's not enough of it out there. Good world building. That's what you need. Mahaviz for $10, knowing there are industry level cultural warriors like Carano, as well as you gracious centurions, allows me to return to creative endeavor and stop fretting from years of media stirred strife. Cheers. You are welcome, and thank you for being here. Nick Matrix 97 for $9.99. Just watched anime. Seems to be the only medium for good stories right now, and you're right. Keep up the good work, fellas. Big fan of what you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alberto Bonsanto for 20 Mexican dollars. The Evil Mouse Company can't stop doing dumb things. They cannot. Swamp Gaming Network for 5 Australian dollars. It's sad how bad this is now. Yes, it is. She's the real deal, says Whit Gebertus for $9.99. That is Gina Carano, and you are correct. The surprise cameo in WandaVision will be Squirrel Girl, played by Ruby Rose, for $5. Godzillionaire. Yeah, it ended up being nothing. Fucking nothing. Carl Holdridge for $10. If mankind is to survive, we will learn that differences in ideas and attitudes are a delight, part of life's exciting variety, not something to fear. Gene Roddenberry. Yes. Oh, that's a good quote. That's a good quote. Andre Fernandez for 50 Argentinian pesos. Hi, Gary. Hi, Doomcock. I just heard Marvel cast Jennifer Lawrence as Sue Storm. More cringe actors. Thankfully, that did not come to pass. But, oh, that's my alarm. We might wish they had cast her. Just saying. Look up The Fifth Element, chat. There is your futuristic movie. Trust me. Super Mastermind for $5. You know, knowing our chat, Super Mastermind, every single person in it has seen it. Fifth Element is a cult classic. Liberty dies in darkness. Tyranny dies in light. Kathleen Kennedy brings darkness. Gina brings light, says Andrew Lundell for $5. Absolutely correct. With Kathleen Kennedy landing a spot under Disney umbrella after her contract expires, I've read it's a possibility. Flex Honcho for $5. She's still there. She's still there. Lou Cypher for $6.66. Hail all, Doomcock. Great podcast last night. This podcast rocks too. Thank you. Arcadian Twilight for $5. For being a racist and a sexist as Walt Disney was, he hated and never cut deals with socialists, be it national socialists or full-blown communists. Yep. For the record, Nazis suck. Commies suck. They both fucking suck. That's it for this round. Look for more very, very soon. Again, thanks to everyone who donates to the channel and to the show. You help keep the lights on. You help keep all the hosts happy. And you help employ X-Ray Girl, Perry Chan, and you help with my mother's rent. And she greatly appreciates it. See you next time. Ciao.
Nerderotic.com.